Hello and welcome to the Saturday morning live stream. I appreciate you guys being here, spending part of your day here. I do want to say thank you to the channel members. A little shout out to you guys. We had our member stream before this. Talked about Amazon raising prices for ad-free on Prime and some Claude AI, all different stuff. So if you'd like to join us, that stream happens every Saturday before this one. And yeah, we're going to dive in today. I want to talk about, I've been using the MacBook Air. I'm currently streaming on my M1 Max that I've had for 4.5 years. I wanted to see where we stand because I was jealous of my wife and kids' MacBook Air. So I decided to get one. And if you didn't know, I ran my YouTube channel for a year off the M1 MacBook Air, and it took care of all my editing fine. The only thing it couldn't handle was live streaming. So we'll get into that. I wanted to talk about the new MacBook Neo, which is Apple's new, I would say it's the new MacBook Air. And it seems to be a beast, that people are really appreciating it. And I'll share with you a channel that had a video on it that did some good testing, kind of real world testing. And tomorrow's video, I'm going to be talking about some HomePod delays. So latest information on that. So you could check that out. And we could talk about any tech questions you guys may have. Also, I did launch my new Lego channel. I'm a beginner again, starting another channel. So if you want to check it out, I pinned it, comment on that, and at the top of the chat. So I have an introduction video and talking about some of the sets I picked up for March that I like. And tomorrow I'll be doing a live stream for that, first live stream over there, doing a live build, and then, yeah, got all different stuff we'll cover. It's in the introduction video, so if you want to check it out, that's a little 3-minute video. I highly recommend Lego. It's great for just tuning out the world, following some instructions, and building something. So, yeah, take a look if you're into that kind of thing. Now, let's dive into the chat, because it's such a long intro. And these comments will be out of order. But good morning, Alan, one of our channel members, longtime friend. I appreciate you being here. And it's a pie day. I didn't realize. And it's not pie you eat. It's the number 3.14, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, since it's March 14th, it's Pi Day. And thank you, Alan, for giving a shout out to the new channel. I think I have like 7 views on each video now, and I have 15 subscribers. But we're off and going. Brian, good morning, man. Greens from Arizona. Hope everyone's having a great day. I'm having a good day. It's going to be a busy day. We got a lot of videos coming up because it's spring prime spring deals, prime day, whatever they call it this year. There's a lot of different products coming out. So there's going to be a video like almost every other day next week leading up to Prime Deal Days. So definitely please check those out. I'd appreciate it. We're covering things like some new stuff from Makara. We got a vacuum from Roborock, a NAS that I got over here I got to start dealing with. We got some Govee lights, some smart home deal video, and a different brand smart lock that we're going to take a look at. So check out as many of those videos as you can. It definitely would be appreciated. Bill, good morning to you. Good to see you, and thank you, Bill, for the little shout out there to leave questions. And Wild Bill, welcome. John, stay cool. I appreciate you being here. And, oh, thank you, Wild Bill. Yeah, I appreciate you guys hitting that like button. And JSW Rebel. Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday, 37 and cloudy. That's a little chilly going on. And Papa JT, good to see you here. Welcome. Zane, good morning. And yeah, Lego's not my thing. I appreciate that. Thanks for sharing. No, I appreciate it. That's where I debated even putting the link on here because I don't want people to necessarily subscribe if it's not their thing, because it doesn't really help if you don't subscribe. If you subscribe and don't watch, it just tells YouTube that, hey, yeah, people aren't into it. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Waring's video did a Neo unboxing reaction and it had a massive screen crack. He took it back and Apple replaced it. Good job, he had it on video. Yeah, let's jump into the Neo now. And if you don't know, Apple released, actually I should open up a tab, MacBook Neo. And the tough part with this kind of thing and reviews on this, especially from YouTubers, is that it's the new, latest, greatest thing. And the problem with that is you do get the YouTubers that are like, it's amazing, it's cool. It's like the iPhone mini, that it's the coolest thing on the planet, but they're never going to use as their daily phone. That 90% of the people are never going to use that. And 90% of the content creators aren't going to use this as their primary computer. But it is a hit going on. This is Apple's MacBook Neo. It is $599 for the base model. Comes with 256 gigabytes of storage. If you use the Apple Education Store, you can get it for $499. And you could upgrade to Touch ID and 512 gigabytes of storage for $100 more. So for $700, you can get this. And the screen looks good on it. They got some interesting colors going on. And if you don't know, this is using an iPhone chip. And the A19 Pro, whatever their higher end chip in the iPhone 17 Pro Max. The thing with it is it does have one less GPU core. It's a bin chip. And if you don't know what that means, a bin chip is basically when they're manufacturing chips. And this applies to PCs, pretty much any chip. Is when they're manufacturing and testing it, if a core doesn't work on it, you basically disable that core because there's manufacturing defects and there's nothing wrong with the chip except one of the cores isn't working. It's the bad employee that isn't getting the job done. So you fire the bad employee. It doesn't mean the company's bad. You just had one bad employee. So with bin chips, they're turning off that one and you use it for something else. And that's where you'll see that, like the different Mac chips, it's 8-core, and then you could upgrade to the 10-core. Well, there probably was one bad core in there, a GPU core. So they disable it. Instead of having a 9-core, just make it the 2-core. And that gives you, the 10 cores can have up to 2 bad cores in it, and then it's still a usable chip at a cheaper SKU. And that basically is happening on Intel chips because you'll get the i5, the i7. Those things, they're bin chips. So same thing that happens on graphics cards. You have these different tiers. Well, they're the same chip, just with bad cores, essentially. So this computer is handling everything well. And I did put a video to a channel that I like. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not the one. Where did it go? We don't need to see that. Let me find that. All right, great job, Craig. Nailing it. Way to go. No, let me find this video that I watched because I think the guy did a great job in covering how this machine performs. And this channel, the guy shoots in 8K and uses proxies. He'll tell you about it. You guys can check it out if you want to learn more about it. But this video right here from this guy whose channel was blowing up is doing very well. And growing quickly because he's a pretty funny guy. He went through and showed what his tasks were on daily use case for his computer. And he's a project manager for live events, so he did a little CAD stuff. But he also talks about using it for editing and how it did for that. So I'm going to put this video in there. I think he's one of the better ones to watch for it than even some of the bigger channels. I think, yeah, definitely check him out. I think he gives a good real world view of a lot of these, a lot of the different Mac stuff. And he's a goofy guy. He's kind of goofy, I'd say, but definitely worth checking out. So that MacBook Neo, it looks like the new computer for the casual user. You don't have to, if you're doing any, I feel like it is the new MacBook Air, and the MacBook Air is the new Pro-ish computer. And then you got the MacBook Pro that is really becoming overkill for most people. And I'll talk about my experience going from the Macs to this. I did do update in RAM and storage. But yeah, it's I've learned a lot about RAM since getting this computer and what to expect. So take a look at this. There was an article I read that why is it all out of order now? Apparently, in one of the articles I read, it was saying that, is this it? No, that's not it. No. Let's see. That this was one Mac trade-ins surge amid MacBook Neo launch. And apparently Apple was getting a ton of trade-ins for people that were interested in this computer. It increased, Mac trade-in at the Apple retail stores this week increased over 100%. Thumbs down! I got the thumbs down already. The one thing that's annoying about this software I use is I get to see the thumbs down in real time. Just, man, squashed my enthusiasm. No, yeah. So this thing actually they've seen a huge amount of trade-in for this Neo, and likely driven by demand for MacBook Neo and M5 MacBook Air. Older low-end models dominated the week's trade-in, suggesting that customers are upgrading to the Mac Neo and M5 MacBook Air rather than the new MacBook Pro models with the M5 Pro and Max chip. And just to throw out there, one of the reasons I didn't do a huge upgrade to the Pro or Max is the fact that one, I wanted something smaller, and two, another thumbs down. What's going on here? We got two already. I usually get one a video, so thank you. The last one, we got that. It flipped. That's awesome. I've double clicked. Anyways, I'll stop talking about that. The reason I didn't go for the Max is that the M6 MacBook Pros are supposed to get the big redesign, the M6. And that's when OLED is supposed to be introduced into the MacBook lineup. And even touch screen is supposed to be introduced with an interface that will be touch friendly, is what I've heard or read. Not really everything big like an iPad meant for touch, but things will enlarge to accommodate touch. But yeah, new design that's thinner and lighter, because that OLED can be thinner and lighter. I think you could also cut back on battery life some. You've got the Pro and Max chips, touchscreen, the first in a Mac, OLED display, which tandem OLED on the iPad Pros look amazing. Dynamic island, woo! So no notch. And then the wild card is cellular modem. I could see that getting skipped just because the amount of data that a full-on computer would end up using. But that's supposed to, they say later this year. I see it being I see it coming out around the same time next year. It's, yeah. So getting the M5 Pros right now, the M5 Pro or Max, unless you really need it, I wouldn't necessarily go for it. Let me get back to the chat and then we'll talk about this MacBook Air in a moment. Uh, mm, mm, mm. Okay, there we go. Yes, we got that. And good morning, Rat, another one of our channel members. Thank you for being here. Bill, also one of our channel members in Florida and Massachusetts. So welcome. Dana, tech is the only place where doing the same thing over and over again doesn't make you crazy because the results will vary. And that's one of the things, like, I do want to share. If you don't know, you don't watch this channel, is that what he's, yeah, iPhondo. This guy, and this is part of this channel here, was part of the reason I ended up getting the Air, because he did such a great job of covering the specs on it. Which one was it? Not the Pro. I'm going to say it's I think it may have been this video here. But in this video, Farouk did, let me see if I can find, his scores right here were a great example of what these computers can do. It's looking here, he was doing the MacBook Air M5, and then you could see the different computers he was comparing it to. So the M1 Pro Max still beat it out for GPU. But then when he was doing his testing for like single core, multi-core performance, you know, the AI side of things, you know, and this is, okay. This is good because he gives you, and another part of the video gives the specs each computer has. So this was very informative to kind of compare these different devices. That one didn't help. It's like Cinebench. There we go. So seeing some of these run-throughs compared to other computers really showed you where things are at. So single core CPU on the Air, I see a significant jump from 113 to 193. You know, the MacBook Pro a little higher. You know, even compared to his Ultra and stuff, you know, MacBook Pro, M4 Max. So this is a great video if you want to kind of see the spec side compared to other stuff. So very great details on that. So MacBook Air, if anybody's thinking about getting one, I just had it open. Where did the Air? Oh yeah, the new Air. It adds the M5 chip, and what they did is they doubled the base storage from the annoying 256 to a 512, so it's a little more usable. They also increased the RAM to 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is definitely better than what they had been doing. And some of the thing with the new MacBook Air, all the cores in it have the AI chip, the AI functionality in it. And with Apple Intelligence coming up, that's where I think you're going to see some of this stuff happening quicker. Even in some of the demos I'm seeing when it comes to Image Playground and generating images, it's doing better than older machines. So this one at $10.99 for the regular price, this is the computer for most people. I ended up getting mine. I bought the 13-inch in sky blue. I can't go midnight. That would just be a fingerprint mess. Silver would be boring. So sky blue, which looks a little more gray. I ended up getting for a little more. I did go with the extra 2 cores for the GPU because I knew I'd be exporting. I did take it up to 24 gigabytes because I didn't want to get a bottleneck because I wanted to edit, and with the multiple apps I leave open, and with like stock trading, I have like live charts, all that. Didn't want to be held back. I went with the 1 terabyte, and this is education pricing, I think. Yeah, but education pricing is like $100 less. And I kept just the regular charger. And with this, it basically got me the same specs, like same storage, less RAM than my M1 Max, but same storage. I didn't want to run into a bottleneck with this thing. And what I found with using the MacBook Air is that everything I did felt just as quick on it. I was concerned that the screen wasn't as bright as my M1 Max, but then I did some research on it, and the M1 Max caps out at 500 nits of brightness, which is the same as this. And even outdoors, when I took them both outside, there is no boost on the M1 Max for the Pro models. This actually looked brighter, and I think some of that might be just some of the diminishing or the wear down of these pixels, these backlight pixels in the M1 Max. This machine's 4.5 years old. And in editing my stuff with 4K footage, which you don't need more than 4K. I mean, and I don't use a lot of effects. I don't really put a lot of effects on there. Everything was smooth as can be on it. That this is a $4,000 machine. This is a $1,400 machine, $1,500 machine, and there was nothing I wasn't able to do. I was monitoring the RAM like crazy. I had activity monitor going on both my devices and watching, and there's more headroom, definitely with 32 gigabytes on the M1 Max. But I never saw, like with 8 apps open, with Chrome playing, with Final Cut Pro, with some stock charts and different software, a couple different things of software, with basically like 12 apps open, I never saw it go to swap memory. And swap memory is when your RAM is full, it'll move it over to your hard drive. And that's when things get slow. With Macs, if you go to Activity Monitor, that's the app. And I've been using Spotlight a lot lately, and that's Command Spacebar. And when you do that, the search pops up. You just type in activity, hit enter, because it'll fill out monitor. It takes you right to that app. So the next level of RAM to look at is compressed. And what'll happen is I've learned that Mac will just gobble up as much RAM as it can. It'll have your app RAM, and then it will... Actually, you know what? Why am I saying it? Let's just share it, because we can do that. Activity monitor, type 3 letters, pops right open. Let's go to here, and let's change the share on it. What are we at? Come on. That was supposed to be quicker. Activity monitor. Boom. Here's Activity Monitor. I'm sure I'm going to have to move this over. And, how do I get it to show? There. There we go. So this is my MacBook Pro right now, the M1 Max. There we go. Let's get that cursor out of the way so I can see. So on here, I have 32 gigabytes on this M1 Max. And I want to get that. There we go. Get that little bit of chart in there. So right now, my apps are using 23.9. This is the cache, and that's just keeping things on standby that Apple thinks you're going to want, so that you're going to want to load. So this is really non-essential going on. The app memory is using this, and compressed is when it gets full. What it'll do is it'll take Windows, like right now I have all the different tabs open. I think I left a video playing in the background. What it'll do is it'll basically pause those. It'll take the RAM that's being used and it'll compress it. And apparently in the time it takes you to click on the app, it'll uncompress it so that it'll pop back over into the regular RAM. The thing you don't want to see ever is swap use, because this is your RAM is full and it's going to the hard drive. Another thing you don't want to see is memory pressure. And the disk rides at about a fifth of my memory. Well, when I go, I'm at about 35% is what I found that the M5 Air runs at. I've never seen it go above 50%. And it really doesn't matter. I've done a bunch of like Gemini searches and stuff that really, if you're not using swap, if you're not using swap and your pressure is not in the yellow, it really doesn't matter. You're fine. You know, if you got room to move, like this has plenty of memory that it can grab that 9.46, but it never does. The apps are only using this. So those, if you're thinking about upgrading, open up all the different apps. Like I typically will have like 7 apps open because I'll just have like Mail. I'll have a browser open, Final Cut Pro. I'll have Notes, ChatGPT. I'll have all those things running. And I've gone in and just left Activity Monitor in the corner. And it's just been, it hasn't been eating through RAM. So I think if you're going to have a bunch of apps open, 24 gigabytes is the way to go. Pay for a little bit more of that. I like having my projects on on my computer, not work from hard drives, external drives. So a terabyte is perfect for me on that. My average project size is about 50 gigabytes and then say 50 gigabytes of footage that's off to the side. So I could easily fit even less than that. I have like 7 or 8 projects on my computer at any given time. So if you're thinking about upgrading, like I think the M5 Pro and the M5 Max is overkill. And I've been guilty of, well, since I live stream and do like the media side of things, I felt better going with the Max. But if I were to buy a MacBook Pro now, I would get the M5 Pro. And the future proofing thing, well, especially they kicked up the price like $400 on the Max chip, that it's so expensive. But the future proofing, stop it. Don't do it. You don't know what future you're future proofing for. You know, so I look at it. I've had my computer coming up on 5 years. I spent $4,000. I'm paying $800 a month for that for 5 years. Why not just spend that $800 a month for 3 years? You know, I mean, divide up how long you keep your computer and what you paid for it. By future proofing, you kept it longer. But what if you, like this computer, $800, let's go with that $800 a year that I paid for the Max. I only need this for 2 years. And in 2 years, let's see what I need then. You know, I'm the future proofing, get that out of there. Unless it's the future proofing for the next year or two, that's fine. I know there's some of you out there that are like, I keep my computer for 10 years. Okay, divide that 4,000 over 10 years. So you spent $400 a year. Now, 400 times 5 years. So you spend $2,000. You get a MacBook Air, you keep it for 5 years. Because clearly, if you're able to keep it 10 years, you don't need as much power. So just something to think about. I think everybody can save money not trying to overshoot the runway on this stuff. Now, let's go back to the chat after my spiel there. Dermot, welcome. Hi from an Irishman on the south coast of the UK. That's a country I'd like to go to. I've never been to Ireland. Been to Scotland. Been to England. Haven't done Ireland. It would be great. Brian, same thing, man. Same configuration. And they're so good. They're such good machines. It's the computer. I can't see how many. I just don't see how it's not going to accommodate most people at this point. John, this weekend's supposed to be 90. Oh my God, that is, and then 50. You guys got some swings happening now, which is crazy. I'm going to be way behind at this point. Yeah, way behind. So the answer is way behind. 47, still have my old Lego and still buying a new one. Good for you, Zane. Man, I don't think people realize how relaxing it can be. And then there's some people like my wife bought a Christmas set. She did 2 bags, and then it's in the box for next Christmas, I guess. If you're in the UK, some specs of the MacBook Neo currently have $50 off on Amazon. Definitely look for that on the... not that I know anything because there's nothing official, but if I were to look on Amazon in the US, I would start looking on like the 25th. And then I would continue to look to the 30th. That's just what I, in my brain, can picture looking on Amazon for deals. It just feels like the right range of time. But I don't know anything at all. What you're describing, Pops Tech, welcome. Yield production, isn't it? Not binning. It was the understanding. Binning is just testing the performance. Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. It's testing the performance and it's not reaching the performance of it. Perfect. I appreciate the correction there. I don't mind being wrong, like learning something new, and we'll incorporate it. Just what I need, more Apple stuff. Sorry, Dana. That's where we keep the member stream in different areas. Bill, our weather running normal, 42 today, 66. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's just such big swings now. It's a weird time, a weird place and time when Apple is the budget-friendly option. That is, yeah, budget-friendly, built well, too. I mean, that are physically like aluminum builds. They have a very premium feel to them. Yeah, it really is crazy. Dana, I'm using a Mac Mini to run Vegas Studio to create apps for Fire TV. Very cool, man. That's interesting. What kind of, let me know. And maybe, see, we should bring that up during the member stream. The idea of like what kind of apps you're working on for Fire TV. MacBook Neo with 512. Yeah, outside, man. Outside the US, where Apple is brutal. $1,000 in Canada for the Neo is brutal. Lawrence, yeah, I didn't have my cat walking up, giving cat butt and stuff. I know I've gotten thumbs down for you from that. So sorry, misclicked. Everyone hit the thumbs down. Awesome. Yeah, 15 minutes. I'm only 18 minutes behind. Welcome. Thank you for being here, Larry. Happy Saturday. Dane, I just had a vision of Apple Intelligence like Paul Hibbert's Home Assistant thing. Yeah, that's Apple. Just Apple Intelligence will not always suck. That's the thing I like to say. It will not always suck. It will eventually get better. Yeah. Dermot, thank you. Thank you for becoming a channel member, and make sure to sign up for Discord. Let me know if for some reason you're not able to get through YouTube, because it should pop up automatic. It should be the option there. Please click on the member stream and leave a comment over there. I'll check, because I try to update the link in the member stream to Discord, but that's where it's the place to go talk any kind of thoughts on stuff. It's definitely the place to go. Hey, another thumbs down. Awesome. 30 minutes. Hey, look, I'm caught up, and like the chat has died. The chat has slowed down. Okay. I guess everybody was listening or leaving. One of the two. So, have you seen any small planes over there that are coming from overseas? No, I have not. And that's such a weird thing to think about, that there's people, sending things over from overseas to try to do damage here in the U.S. Try not to get too far down that rabbit hole. But yeah, that seems weird. Seems like a weird threat. Yeah, that's one of the things. It's like LA, San Francisco. That's our West Coast targets for people that don't want to do nice things to US. Now, I did mention, and tomorrow's video is going to be on some HomePod delays and Apple TV. Apparently, latest information is that we will not see anything new until the OS 27 comes out. And OS 27 isn't due out till September. So I'll go more into that in the next video tomorrow. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Wow. I can't believe we went from like 15 minutes behind to caught up, and no one's got anything left to say. We're done. We hit the end of the stream. This is going to be a short one today, it looks like. Let me know if you guys have anything you want to talk about. Oh, yeah. I did put this in here. Apple's first foldable displays nearing mass production. And which one is... let me bring up a channel, Dave 2D. Dave 2D does a lot of phone stuff, and he was showing a new phone that is not an Apple phone, but I want to find this one that I watched. Yeah, the iPhone, the phone did what Samsung couldn't. And this video shows the displays, how foldable phones can be made without the crease in it. So I'm going to share this video for you guys that they're being made right now. They're being made right now that foldable displays that you aren't seeing the crease on it. Like this is the Samsung Fold he was showing. Pixel Fold. Yeah, which I actually traded my Pixel Fold in to get some cash happening for some Apple purchases. But this right here is, I forget the brand of phone, but you don't see the crease happening. And they've done it in a way that it supposedly isn't going to develop a big crease over time. So it's proof that the displays can be greatly improved. So definitely, if you're curious about where foldable screens are at, take a look at this video. I'll try to see who, yeah, the Oppo Find is the phone, but it's looking really good. And let me know, are you interested in a foldable phone? I like the idea of Apple's. I think the little outside display and wider format's going to be kind of weird, but it will be a foldable phone that will actually, when you watch content, be bigger than it'll be a 7.3-inch screen. And this is a 6.9-inch screen, I believe. Yeah, 6.9-inch. Well, when you watch videos this way, you're not getting all 6.9 inches for the video on it. You're getting your 6-inch diagonal. So, but when you open up the Fold, you're now looking at a full screen that you would be able to get the full width of that 7.3-inch screen. So from a content standpoint, it'll be bigger than this. Where typically you open up a foldable from like the Fold from Samsung, you turn it sideways and it's pretty close to the same size that if you had just watched it here. You know, so it'll be an interesting one. I'm curious to see what happens with that, but let us know. And if you haven't seen the iPhone Fold renders, and you could actually print out, you can do a 3D printing of it. There's models on MakerWorld, and people have been doing the prints on MakerWorld. But this is the idea. That would be an iPad mini next to the Fold. And the idea with this is it's going to be a wider a wider, yeah, let's see what this picture looks like. Larger, okay. That is what the Fold is supposed to look like. And here are the dimensions of said Fold in millimeters. So if anybody is curious, that's what it's rumored to be. And then size-wise, so if you want to do any conversion from metric to imperial, you can do the conversion on that. So just an idea there. Definitely one of the products I want to see about. And David, how's the gas price over there? And hello to Andrea. I don't know. I heard they've gone up, but that's kind of the nice part about electric is I haven't seen what the prices are. Yeah, delay on Apple TV, HomePad, the rumored device. The soonest I could see if Apple gives a preview of it would be WWDC. So if there was actually third-party apps, they could preview it there. But I don't think there's going to be third-party apps available at launch. I think they're just going to use widgets like they do on the phone, and there won't be third-party integration. So I don't expect to see anything before September for that. But Apple TV, yeah, one of the things that tomorrow's video is about isn't just about the rumors of it. It's about why do we even care? Like, really, why do we care about what do you think? And this is something for the comments. What do you think Apple is going to bring that is really going to make you run out and buy a new HomePod Mini or a new Apple TV? I mean, like, just think about that, because you could leave a comment tomorrow on that tomorrow's video. But my thing is, I thought about it, I'm like, what are they really going to bring? Like, there's no, we all want to see, not we all, but some of us want to see an update, but what do we think we're going to get? The HomePod Mini sounds a little better. Still, it can only do so much with one speaker. You know, the Apple TV has a camera. Okay, well, I guess it can see the ceiling if you use a mount on the back of your TV, or it could get a not so flattering view if it's down in the entertainment center. You know, things like that. So tell me, what do you think in the comments? Larry, in what way do you want to see Apple implement Apple Intelligence using Apple Home? For me, it would be nice to be able to ask questions without having to think about how you ask questions. When it comes to general knowledge and searching for information, I really couldn't care less about. I just don't think it's going to be that great. I think you're better off talking to ChatGPT or just doing a normal search on there if you want real information. It would be nice to see improved Siri that has Gemini in it. Sorry if I set off any devices. That has Gemini to the quality of Gemini now. Because Gemini is rated as one of the best AIs for information, real-time information and searching. That would be nice to see. I think the real thing is I would like Apple to use the ultra-wideband chip. You know, if you use AirTags, you see how accurate the ultra-wideband chip could be. And I think it'd be cool to see automations based on that. You know, if it precisely knows location of where things are at, you know, within inches, it'd be cool to say, sit down and just, boop, capture the spot. When I am here, trigger this automation. But I think Apple Intelligence for the Apple Home, you know, writing automations with voice, it would have to be really good. If not, it would just be kind of cumbersome and just better off going into the app. It would be, you know, it wouldn't be bad to get some updates from Apple apps to be able to grab stuff within Apple Home, but I don't know. I guess it's like if you could write complex automations that you can't now by using voice with conditions and things like that, it would be a good improvement. So hopefully that was a decent answer. And let me know what you guys, and Larry, what you think. Use your voice to program automations. Yeah, and if you could add conditions would really be nice. I really don't like the look of the possible renderings of the iPhone Fold. It's interesting. Like, I had the Pixel Fold, and it used that wider design. So going a little bit wider was good for navigating instead of having to reach a longer screen. But if you're going to watch something on that outer display, you're looking at like an iPhone 6 display, or iPhone 4. I don't know. You're looking at quite a bit of a smaller display. So for you're going to want to pop that open. But I picture for like most tasks other than media, if anything, it would be kind of nice, like if you are on social media, or I like Reddit, you're reading information on there, it'd be nice to see it kind of blown up because there is more width. So if text was a little bigger and things were a little bigger on websites, because you're getting that mobile version expanded, that would be kind of nice. So I think it's really going to come down how it's implemented. JSW, I wish Apple would get the stick with AI. I've been waiting for new Apple TV. And see, that's one of the things I mentioned. If you want a new device, you're going to want the most current one. And they're sitting on new products until Apple Intelligence is out the door. I get it, but it stinks waiting. Yeah, I feel you on that. I think if you already own one, then you just get to enjoy what you already own. But yeah, if you're on the fence and waiting, that is annoying. It is annoying, and it's going to be a benefit for Siri. And that's one of the things I talk about, is that is the missing piece. That is the thing you need more than anything hardware related. I mean, you need a better chip for that, but that is what everything really needs to be more useful. Other than that, who gives a crap if it streams 8K? Nobody is sending 8K signals out. I mean, majority of streaming services are sending out 1080p. A lot of them are sending out 1080p unless you pay more for 4K. And that's one of the things. Prime Ultra, I talked about this during my member stream. This is coming out where if you want 4K and ad-free from Amazon Prime, they have a new Prime Ultra coming out in the US. No change to your Prime subscription, but for $4.99, you get 5 streams instead of 3. You get 100 downloads instead of 25, and 4K streaming. So even if you had an 8K Apple TV, you know, it's going to be best case upscaling 4K Ultra HD content, and even that could be compressed like crazy and not look as good. You know, how much stuff is being put out in 8K? John, yes, I'll try the folding phone. Yeah, I gotta try it too, I think, for the channel. I've given up on a new Apple TV and Apple Intelligence. Yeah, that's you might see a unicorn before you actually see Apple Intelligence be really intelligent. Brian, not interested here in a foldable phone, but always appreciate the engineering that goes into them to help technology advance in other areas. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I appreciate Samsung. They just keep moving the tech ball down the field. You know, if it wasn't for Samsung, Apple would never get any new features, new hardware features. Pops Tech, as someone with Samsung Z Flip 5, don't ever bother with the foldable. The screen protector will bubble and you won't be able to fix it without pain. Thank you for sharing your experience with that. That's one of the things, the video I put in there is what they did with this Oppo is they put like a padding and set it up in a way that it will instead of having that pressure of a fold, it has a T shape or a teardrop shape in there. But then when it goes back up, it's kind of putting pressure on it so it doesn't like delaminate from the different layers of it. So I'm curious to see if that'll happen. Have you, Pops Tech, have you looked at any of the, what is the latest flip? Latest, because I haven't, the Flip 7. Has there been any improvement in that with the Flip 6 or 7? HomePod screen is probably a year away, if any time. Yeah, and that's one of those. Lawrence will let us know in Discord that it'll never happen. So, Bill, something helpful in handling someone else's affairs for them. It's very helpful if you keep a written list of usernames and passwords in a safe place in case someone needs access. That's a great point. You know, you kind of need a break in case of emergency list of stuff. Or give a master password and have a thumb drive with documents of all this different stuff on there. Because, yeah, I mean, if you need to handle something for family members, that username and getting all that stuff is a pain. Especially if you use strong passwords on things. Let me answer this. Sorry, this is a dance-related thing for my daughter. I have to respond to a mother asking if I can carpool. Sorry about this. Okay, there we go. Not sure about foldable. Not sure about foldable screens. Normally an early adopter, but we'll wait and see. Yeah, especially with seeing things like the iPhone 17 and you switch materials and how it reacts in the real world. We don't have a Steve Jobs-like guy to tell us what we need. Yes, there's a video on Front Page Tech, which Front FPT. This was a good video that I watched yesterday. Apple will never be the same. And it's talking about, once they're kind of preparing for Tim Cook to leave and how there really it's a different Apple. So many people have left now at this point that it really, the new CEO would be inheriting a different Apple. John, HomePod Mini will be good with wired Ethernet. Yeah, I don't ever see that happening. I see more hardware being put on, more cost, and that's the headphone jack of internet. But hardwired is definitely a great way to go if you can. If Apple just update the HomePod Minis with a new chip and nothing else, don't see the point. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. The thing they're supposed to do is one of the S9 or S10 chips, which are in the newer Apple Watches, and those allow on-device Siri for certain things. Brian, for Apple TV, I'd like to see did it again. Sorry, guys. A higher end type, maybe just continue to improve RAM and storage in current style, and another that is lower end. That would be nice to have a stick type, equivalent to a Fire TV. And yeah, it's Apple showing they can make some affordable stuff. I hope iOS 27 brings us a whole new Apple Home app with deeper programming capabilities and using Apple Intelligence. It would be cool to have more programming capabilities in it. As for the app, I mean, it's the best one out there. I think it truly is like the best. Yeah, it's nice to have a dedicated home app. I agree, millimeter wave is okay, but I have a lot of issues with microwave noise. Yeah, millimeter wave is good, but doing the precision location, programming those, it just feels hit or miss at times. Bill, we all heard trust but verify with AI, and verify and think about trusting. Gemini can be radically wrong and sound right. One of the things you do need to make custom instructions for this stuff. You need to take the time and you say, make a master prompt and say what kind of, if you're trying to create a research assistant, what kind of information would help me make a good research assistant out of you? And let it give you information, copy that into a document, add your own, double check everything. Don't just tell me what I want to hear. Verify your sources. Show me a link to every response. But yeah, it's like, don't just be agreeable. Challenge what I'm saying. Put all those things in there in your custom instructions and then copy and paste that in there. ChatGPT, any new project you start, you can add custom instructions. So I have them for my YouTube channel. For Gemini, verify multiple sources before giving me an answer. Give me answer in bullet points. Show me a link for each bit of information. That way you can verify, like Bill's saying, easily. John, the new iOS beta has fixed some of my problems and got my Home Assistant to load up on my iPad again. Yeah, that's it's good to know it's helped with that. What's a frog's favorite website? Reddit. Sorry, I'll get my coat. That's awesome. So about time of the HomePod Touch with the screen. I know you always love that one, Lawrence. That's really bad. That's a dad joke. Bill, I have asked Gemini about a few past and current city employees and came up with someone from a different department. That's where in your instructions, show me a link where you found this. I don't want a folding phone. If I want a larger screen, just whip out the iPad mini from purse. Nice. Love it. 51 minutes. I'm only 7 minutes behind, and then I'll get out of here. No use here for folding phone. Why not upgrade Apple TV before screwing around with folding phone? Bob's Tech, Samsung claims it's better, but they'll always claim it's better. Yep. They learned that from Apple. You're holding your phone wrong. Samsung, to their credit, will replace the screen protector for free, but in the process will wipe your phone. Yeah, that's not good. Second term for 47. On Hue Essential 4-pack on sale again. Good to know. Yeah, check those out if you want affordable Hue devices. Philip Hue, check out their Essential lineup. You don't have to pay that... pay the cost, the ridiculous Hue tax. Oh, my daughter's doing good in dance. She got a concussion though. She's only been able to watch. She got kicked in the face, and then we've actually had to take her, and she had like blurry vision and headaches, and yeah. So she's still on the recovery path. At this rate, I'll be sticking an iPad to a wall and putting it on the app lock on Apple Home. Yeah, and the thing people ask, well, why not just use an iPad? And really, the benefits of having a HomePad would be the shared use. Like with the HomePod Mini with or HomePods with voice recognition, it knows who's asking. And when you say send a message, it knows to send it from your message app. Or what's on my calendar, it knows that it's your calendar. And the iPad has never been a good shared device, like no multiple user support. So that's where I really see the HomePod with the screen coming in handy, that multiple support. You have to write them down, thumb drives and drives. Oh yeah, fail over time. That's my examples of over-reliance, catastrophic failures. Yeah, that's why a NAS, I recommend that for your data. Get a NAS. Have you got the new book on Apple's last 50 years? Tell you a lot of information. No, I haven't. I haven't even looked into that one. Apple philosophy, you have to accept the limitations of what they end up offering long enough to realize that really is all you needed in the first place. I like that explanation. I think that's a good explanation. Yeah, it's like, hey, you don't need half the crap. AI, a database we don't know the contents of, access by application we know nothing about. Yeah, the black box. The black box idea, that what is going on inside. Craig, when are you going to properly light that bookcase? I keep putting off ordering more wire for my LEDs because I know somewhere I have cable that I haven't found. But I have an Akara strip, and I've printed out one row of 3D printed of a 45-degree angle bracket. So I need to get the cable together. John, thumb drives. I don't trust anyone. I had too many. Yeah, go bad. That's a good point. Bill, regarding what about passwords, I have found paying for RoboForm and writing the master password on a slip of paper would be best. Passwords are most up to date that way. That's a good point. Yeah. I just learned that SSDs will corrupt information over time if you don't keep them charged. I did not know that. That's an interesting one. That's where old school hard drives still could be the way to go. Like I have a NAS that if you put it in RAID 5, you can lose one drive and pop it out, put another one, and it'll restore the information on there. I think it's RAID 6. Like if you have a 6 bay, you could lose up to 2 drives. So on the 6 bay in RAID 5, I got 21 terabytes of useful space with the ability that if I got an alert that a drive was failing, I could pop that out, put a new one in, and be good to go. Now, I'm going to get out of here. We're at 1 hour. And thank you all for spending part of your Saturday here. I might not be able to stream next week because of some video releases going on. With Prime Deal days coming up, there are a lot of videos. Like every other day, there's going to be a video. And we're covering a lot of different stuff on here. We got some lighting coming up. Got a NAS coming up. Cameras, a vacuum, a new one like I've never used before. Smart lock from a different brand I haven't worked with before. And yeah, it's going to be a busy one. So I appreciate you guys if you're able to check it out. If you want to check out the new Lego channel video released, introduction video, and my top picks for this March of new sets. Tomorrow I will be doing a live stream. You know, I'm planning on twice a week. So I sit down and just build some Lego and chat. So we'll see about that. So anyways, and Brian, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Richie, welcome. Thank you for being here. We're at the tail end, so I got to leave. And last, waiting for Akara's own NAS that's meant to be out soon. Yeah, and Ugreen. Yeah, theirs have been... They've offered a variety of them that are interesting. Have a great weekend. Happy Friday the 13th. Yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah, check out the new OnlyFans. That's funny. Thank you so much for your time and response. I appreciate it. And thank you guys again for spending your time here. And I'll see you soon. Take care.